What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of On the Mic with Michael Flix. Very happy to be back. I was about to say second time guest, but I think the first interview was on my other show, Link Up with Michael Flix. So this is your first time on the Mic.
This is my first time on the mic, for sure, man.
For sure. My guy, Abe Muheize. How you doing, bro?
Good, man. Good. Appreciate you having me on the show. It's
Absolutely.
nice seeing where you're at right now, man. Back from the one camera to like three cameras, lights, the mics. It's dope, bro. It's dope.
Yeah, you was there in the beginning. You was one of my first like photography jobs walking in, letting me have an opportunity with the Kings. I appreciate that, bro.
Man. Yeah, I appreciate being that guy, man.
Yeah,
That's
for sure.
tight, bro.
Definitely come a long way. I appreciate that, man. It means
Definitely,
a lot,
man.
for sure.
Definitely.
What you been up to, bro? I mean, like I said, we haven't really spoken or connected much since the Kings ended. So what you been up to since like the last season of the Kings?
Well, since the last season of the Kings, just recapping, we were like going right into the playoffs at that time.
Right.
And we were hosting the first West Coast tournament where we had teams from like New Mexico, Texas, Northern California, and all these teams coming out. And the week of that, COVID hit. And bro, that was the last time Kings. Like, that was it, man. That was kind of a little shocker. Put your boy through a little depression for a minute. You know?
Yeah?
Bro, I put in like years of work for it to just get like slapped away and not like have any vision towards it, like really put me down for a while. And thankfully I had Attorney King to be able to like still go to the law office, still work, still make money in that sense. But as far as like having sports, having the team, having like this baby that I just built up, and it was kind of like a dead end, you know? And from there, I just been kind of trying to figure out, like, what am I going to do now? You know, what's next? And I just so happened to, like, at the same time, within, like months of each other, MeetLete popped up, which is an app that allows fans to pay for their favorite athletes to FaceTime them. A good friend of mine, Rob Connolly, actually hit me up and reached out and was on July 1st when the NIL rules changed. And was asking me if I knew about the NIL rules. And I'm like, hell yeah, I know what's going on with the NIL rules.
Right.
I was Googling, like, how can I be an agent? Or, like, what can I do to figure out, like, how can I capitalize on this? And it's just crazy. He calls me, and it's like 9 o'clock at night. And I'm never answering my phone 9 o'clock at night. I got my kids. I'm putting to sleep. But I'm like, let me take this call and see what Rob is talking about. I haven't talked to him in years. And he's started MeetLete. And my only question was, bro, stop selling me on it. What can I do to get involved? And he was like, I'm trying to figure that out. And so I just jumped in head first. And so I've been on MeetLete. And then within that same time, the whole NFT tears, which has taken off. I tried to get in on the sports side of that. And through that, ended up on a project called Picture Day, running marketing, community management, which what I was doing with the Kings. And was recruited into that. And so, yeah, man, that's what I'm doing now. I'm with MeetLete, and I'm with this NFT project called Picture Day. And happy as hell, bro.
That's so got a lot of stuff rocking. That's what's up.
Yeah, man. It's exciting. It's exciting.
Oh, we're gonna get into all of that for sure. I like I said, I haven't spoken to you since the Kings ended.
Right,
so I definitely
that
got
was the brief
questions about some stuff that I'm saying. I'm sure other people got questions about too. So when COVID happened and shut the whole world down, really, in sports in particular. But there were other ABA teams that actually came back and had a season. Why did you decide not to bring the Kings back and have a season?
So I mean, yeah, they have a season and they're running games and playing, and man, I'm happy for those teams because it looks fun just even watching it. But for me, I had got into it with a different business model. Okay. I wanted to start a school tour, which I was, kind of getting there. You know, we started getting into schools, doing stuff for the community. Everything was community first. And that was the way of like giving back to the community. And the whole point of giving back to the community was also to bring the community in to actually watch these basketball games. And when they come to watch those games, of course, we had to put on a show. So once COVID hit, it was like a whole new business model. I can't go into schools. I can't give back to the community. You can't even like talk to people or really be out there, let alone have a basketball game full of 1,000 people in it. So it was just like, what am I going to be doing it for? It was just a whole different business model that I didn't feel I could dive into, without fans, without that model, So trying to figure out a whole nother business model, it was something where I decided, let me just take a step back at this point.
Gotcha. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. I was so curious. That makes a lot of sense. You say you suffered a little bit of a depression after watching that go away. How did you, before you got involved with all the dope stuff that you're doing now, how did you kind of deal with that depression?
Bro, it was just like, I was just getting up, going to work. It was like 9 to 5 now in the law office. And it was just hard, man, honestly. Like, thank God I got my wife who's like super supportive. My kids who are just constantly giving me energy. So I'd say like between those two, that's what really got me through it more than anything, you know? Gotcha. It was hard, bro. It felt like the same type of feeling when I lost football. Football ended. Right when that ended, it was like that same feeling.
Got you.
Mind is running like a million different ways, catching myself kind of zoned out on things, you know, like it was a tough one to get out of, that's for sure.
I hear you. I asked because I know not everyone necessarily like lost a big project that they were working on, but just like when the world changed and people had to stay inside. Yeah, I'm sure it was something that a lot of people were dealing with. You know what I mean? Luckily, you know, a lot of us, and you found some things pretty quick, but luckily a lot of people were able to, dive into like entrepreneurial type things or just, like get into art or find things to kind of take their mind off things. 'Cause I'm sure a lot of people were dealing with like depression and anxiety and mental health and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Definitely, man. Definitely. It was definitely a lot. And I wouldn't even say it was pretty fast. I felt like forever going from March of 2020 until July of 2021. This past year is my first call to like do anything, you know? And that's what got excited. So I was like a year and some change of like, what the hell am I going to do? You know? Right. It was scary, man. It was scary.
I'm sure. And especially for somebody like you who's always up and going and moving and shaking hands and making connections and all that, for all that to just go away, I'm sure it's like, I'm kind of stuck twiddling my fingers here.
Yeah, it was tough. You know, I just, right before COVID, just had my baby boy. My boy was only a few months old when COVID hit. So now I'm like, damn, I'm raising my kid just in the house all the time. That was tough getting through. And then popped out another baby. You know, I got an 8-month-old now. But
congratulations, by that.
Thank God, man. You know what I mean? Just like telling myself to stay positive without even knowing. And like, it reminded me of all those times I would tell people about it. Like, man, you got to just keep grinding and get through it, even when you can't see it. But it's hard to think like that when you can't see it.
Yeah.
And it reminded me again, it's hard to think positive when you can't see it, you know? And you start kind of like digging in a little hole. And it's like, thank God when you have good people around you that can help you get out of that, though, you know?
For sure. What was kind of like your, okay, what came first? So you said you got into MeetLete and you got into the NFT thing. Yeah. So what came first out of those two?
MeetLete actually came first.
Okay.
MeetLete literally July 1st happened, and that's when I got the call from Rob.
July 1st of this year?
Yeah.
Okay.
July 1st of this year. And within weeks, I just seen where the company was at, and I dove in. Like I said, I started helping like raise capital. Hey, we need capital. All right, let me see what I can do to help raise capital. So called some people that wanted to invest in it. We got some investors in it early on. And then from there, it was like, hey, there's these certain events that we need to be at, like trying to strike deals with the MLB Players Association and trying to strike deals with different investors. And it was like literally ground zero. We just got the skeletons to the app, and I just dove in, man. And we ended up in Denver at the end of July for the MLB All-Star Weekend, and got to hang out with the MLB Players Association. And we're still working on a deal with them. And after that, I've been on a couple of different trips now, like to Vegas. Got to go to the USA versus Mexico soccer game. That was super dope.
Nice.
Recently was at the Jake Paul event in Tampa, Florida. That was pretty dope. So I was pretty excited, man. But literally a month after that, in August, is when I got hit up about MeetLete. Or not MeetLete, the NFT project.
Okay. So
when I was going to start an NFT project around sports, and we just happened to transcend and find an artist, and now I'm like deep into NFTs. It's like heavy.
See, I know about it just, being a photographer. I know a little bit about NFTs, but not very much. So tell me and tell the listeners exactly what NFTs are.
So NFT is a non-fungible token. So it could be art, music, pictures, and it's basically a digital file. It's like a digital link. It's a digital asset that, for art, for example, which I'm in the art industry right now with it, they say there's about 20 to 30% of fake art being sold out there. What people think are real art, forged like signatures on it, or forged like just somebody recreating somebody else's art. There's only one Picasso.
Right,
you know what I mean? But with this blockchain and NFTs, every NFT is connected to a digital link, its own digital code. So if that Picasso, like back then, was on NFTs, you would know how many people had it, how much they paid for it, because it's digitally, electronically tracked.
Got you.
If somebody traded it, you're going to see that. There is no like, so tell me about the the NFT or how much it's paid. No, you can just look it up right there, the contract, and see every single transaction. So it's a digital asset is the best way I like to tell everybody.
Got you. And what exactly are you doing in the NFT world?
So I'm in a project called Picture Day, and our artist is Gina Palmerin. And Gina has been an artist for over 30 years. Amazing artist. She's oil and acrylic painting. Sorry. And we actually signed her on with our team. We're called Visions Lab. And Visions Lab signed her on. We're marketing, promoting, branding, helping her get her art into the marketplace. So we took her traditional art that she would paint, and sell it. And we created a whole project around her art. She takes artists like Snoop Dogg, icons like Elon Musk, Madonna, Billie Eilish, and she makes them look like young kids. And it's called Picture Day because it's like it looks like they're taking their picture for their school picture, and it's called Picture Day.
That's dope.
So it is super dope, bro. So it's a collection of 5,000 of these in it, and like Snoop Dogg's in it. We actually just met Snoop Dogg through it, and he loved the art. Already was like busting out voiceovers on his sound for it, like. So we're actually working on a deal with Snoop on this character because in NFTs, you're creating the metaverse. For those who don't know the metaverse, it's the reason why Facebook changed their name to Meta. It's this like online world. So you know how your kids have Roblox?
Yeah.
You know what Roblox?
Yeah.
Creating your own. Think of this for grown-ups.
Okay.
And this art and stuff will be in that grown-up's house. So there's people trying to buy like metaverse property next to Snoop Dogg just to say I got property next to Snoop Dogg. But also kind of like in real world, you own land, you can kind of charge people for concerts, come to your house for parties. They're going to be able to do this in the metaverse. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So this is stuff that's like moving out into like the future, which I'd suggest definitely getting into NFTs, bro. It's pretty exciting.
It's dope to hear like explained a little more thoroughly because when I think of the whole like the metaverse and all that, it makes me think of the game Sims.
Exactly.
And I'm like, but what's the like go on there and like live a second life and spend money in there? Like I just don't understand. Like
For sure. I mean, it's the same reason why people go on and they play like Call of Duty. It's just super dope. You know what I mean? To play Call of Duty. And it's like, well, what about real life? Okay, I can go paintball in real life. But like now in the metaverse, it's like taking it to a whole nother level. You like you can put on the headset. Right now it's like a headset. And you can go in. You can hear like Drake in concert right now and be like super close. And that's Dre's avatar or whatever right there in the metaverse. You know, it's kind of hard to wrap your head around until you start diving in and seeing it.
Okay.
But you got NFTs, like it's like a whole community being built, right? In NFTs. That's one thing that's like huge in NFTs is community building. So I don't know if you heard, but like Steph Curry's got a Bored Ape, Shaq, Snoop, all these guys have these Bored Apes. And they're literally digital apes that were like done on like an iPad. And they're just 10,000 of them. Some have suits on, some have beach shirts, some have gold grills, diamond grills. 10,000, all different ones. Some are more rare than others, so some cost more because of the rarity of it. Like the suits, there's only 50 of them with suits, or 40, or I don't even know the exact number, but those 50 or 40 right now are worth like millions of dollars because they're the only 40 or 50 rocking a suit as an ape. And there's certain like people that are just picking them up. But it's that 10,000 now, it's that community. So you got exclusive rights because you own that to go to these parties, these events, to be a part of the ape community. So if they decide, hey, we're giving our whole ape community freaking a Tesla because we made billions and this 10,000, and I'm just throwing it out there.
Right.
But it's stuff like that because they're giving people like a lot of money just for holding on to their apes, and like it's just crazy to wrap your head around, bro.
I definitely it makes a lot more sense, and like you making it more is palatable the word? You make it make a lot more sense for me because at first I was this is never anything that I would.
Why would I get into it, right? I'm thinking the same thing until I'm in New York for NFTs. And my buddy that I met, Mo, in New York, he had access to Des Bryant's party because he owned the NFT to Des Bryant's party. And Des Bryant had a party for his birthday, and there was only like 100 people in there. And I got to go because I'm with a guy who had access to it. And that's when I realized, like, damn, all this free drinks, free food, and we're at the 40/40 Club in New York for Des Bryant's party. I'm not paying $1, but because of the people that hold the NFTs, that's why we're all up in here.
Got you.
And it was like, that's just access. That's VIP access. So recently I bought one called Players Only NFT because like Michael Carter Williams and a bunch of NBA players are the ones that own it. It's their NFT. So I bought it just for like every week they hold fantasy football where you log into DraftKings through their link, and for free you play fantasy football. And if you win, you can win a free NFT. You can win like all this like free money, and I paid like $350 just to be a part of that group, but I can end up winning more than that by getting it back, you know? So I just joined the community.
Got you.
You know what I mean?
Got you. And I mean, we spoke a little bit off camera. I don't know if you want to speak about it on camera. You could just tell me. We'll take it out. But you were mentioning that the Kings are potentially going to come back.
Yeah.
How do you kind of merge like your NFT and like all the stuff you're doing that you started doing after the Kings went away? How do you merge that with the Kings organization?
So being in this NFT and like crypto community, it just made everything seem possible again. Like I don't have to sit there and worry about trying to get investors, giving up percentages and do all this just to like get the Kings going. There's something called DAOs now. And DAOs, you can look it up, called the Constitutional DAO. And I don't know the whole story behind it. I just met a guy in Miami who was like a part of this, and he was telling me how crazy it was. But it was just people that came together and they wanted to buy the Constitution, like one of them from the government, like the actual Constitution as an NFT. And so they put together $40 million for like 3,000 people that donated to this because they all wanted to have control of this Constitution.
Wow.
They wanted to be owners of it, right? I want to put something together like that for the Kings. People that want to own a basketball team. People that want to like do this for the community, how we were doing it before, where it was all about community first. And get a group of people, whether it's 100, 1,000, that want to invest in this team and have ownership in this basketball team, to be able to pay players, not to just be basketball players like the same way before, but to be able to pay them to go into schools Monday through Friday. That's their job. They're just going into schools. They're giving back, and they're being like pillars of the community. And that's what the community is paying for with this basketball team. Same concept. So that's how I like plan to like bring the Kings back again.
That's really dope.
Do it down.
That's a really good idea, bro.
Yeah, man.
That's super dope. Do you have a timeline for that, or is it kind of just
I'm
an idea
hoping
right
by
now?
November. I got that on my dream board right now. By November, I can get that going. Because by the end of January, we'll launch Picture Day. In February coming up, MeetLete, man. MeetLete, we got a lot of exciting news. I can't officially announce like the company, but it's a $200 billion media company that took us on as part of their accelerator program. So they're investing in us, and they're going to like for 3 months just build up MeetLete through their connections to be able to like sell it off.
Nice.
So that's happening in February. So January, February, and I'm hoping within that time I'll be able to like work on that DAO and be able to push that out and be able to get people interested in the basketball team before the season kicks off.
Nice.
That's like the grand strategy.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man. If you need any help on my end, as
you
always,
know I do,
man.
man. You
sure.
know I'm gonna hit you up,
I
bro.
got you. You know I got you.
Yeah.
That's dope, man. That's really exciting.
Yeah,
I'm glad I had you on today, man. Learned a lot
sure.
about, you know what I'm saying, what you've been up to and stuff that you got coming up, man. That's dope.
Definitely, man. I appreciate
That's
that.
dope.
No, I appreciate you having me for all this too.
Absolutely,
man.
my pleasure. So if y'all you want to own a basketball team, man, be on the lookout. You might have your chance pretty soon, man.
For sure.
My guy, Abe, man, I appreciate you coming in.
I appreciate you, bro. Good looking out, man.
Absolutely, my pleasure. It's been another episode of On the Mic with Michael Flix. I appreciate y'all tapping in, man. Until next time, take care.